12 Sports Team presents your Southern Tier Kickoff.
Thank you for coming back to the Southern Tier Kickoff. And Syracuse is coming back to a noon kickoff, that between the Orange and Virginia Tech at the JMA Wireless Dome. Syracuse is coming back home after a 3-game road stretch, and Kevin Quinn is going to let us know a little bit more about today's game.
Yeah, Syracuse coming off a big loss last week, 41-13. Kyle McCord throwing 5 interceptions in that one, including 3 pick sixes. Not the game that you want to have. The goal against conference foe Virginia Tech this week, who has been on a tear after losing to Miami, who is currently sitting atop the ACC. Virginia Tech is winners of their last 3, a 31-7 win over Stanford, gave Syracuse some trouble at home, a 42-12 win over Boston College, and 21-6 win over Georgia Tech. Both teams share that win over Georgia Tech. Bashal Tootin, a big reason for that, along with dual threat quarterback Kyron Drones. Fran Brown spoke to the media ahead of the game, saying they're ready for whatever is thrown their way this afternoon at the JMA Dome.
I mean, we're just going to go play football, though. I'm not in to give you none of our secrets of what we're going to do, but we want to play ball. We don't want the same thing to happen again. I think our quarterback is really good, and it was just it was an off night. It was an off night for our football program, you know, for the entire team, starting with the head football coach. So, but we'll be excited about Saturday. We get a chance to go play against a great football team coming to our house.
And some keys to the game for this one. It's a get-back game for Kyle McCord. Forget about last game against Pitt. Forget about the 5 interceptions. Forget about the 3 pick sixes. And remember, he still did have 300 yards passing. And move on. Don't get beat by the same team twice. Don't try to overdo it, and just play your game. Syracuse needs to feed their running back LaQuinn Allen. 15 carries for 232 yards isn't going to cut it, and Fran Brown knows that. He needs to have a balanced offense, get him going, and that'll open up the passing lanes as well. The offensive line needs to be a big part of that. The third key, slow down Bashal Tootin. Virginia Tech was on its longest win streak since a long time ago, before the loss to Miami. The senior running back currently ranks 2nd in the ACC and 9th in the country in rushing yards per game at 118.9. The Cuse defense will need to step up, tackle, and slow him down.
All right, let's get a little bit more on this game, and we're going to go out live right now to 12 Sports' Keith Savage, who is outside of the JMA Wireless Dome. Keith, what's going on outside of Cuse?
Yeah, thanks, Zach. It is freezing outside here, but they're playing in the dome. The JMA Dome is going to be jam-packed as the Orange are hosting the Hokies. The Orange, like we said, coming off a tough loss to Pitt. They're 2-2 in conference. Play by Virginia Tech is 3-1. Today is homecoming, but that's not the biggest thing. If they win today, they're bowl eligible for the 3rd straight season. Big reason why they've been so successful is the quarterback, Kyle McCord. 354 passing yards per game is what he's averaging. That's the most in the entire country, and no Syracuse quarterback has ever done that through 7 games. But with all those yards, it goes to a lot of receivers. 3 guys over 65 receiving yards. No other team in Division I has that. LaQuinn Allen, the running back, nearly 100 yards a game total, and to go along with his 7th touchdown. All time, the Orange has this battle. They're 11-9 against Virginia Tech. We haven't played in there since 2016. Syracuse hasn't played a home game since the month of September. 2nd straight year they haven't played October. Not sure why they don't like playing in this game, but Virginia Tech, their defense is no joke. Just giving up 18 points per game against ACC teams, excuse me. But if Orange want to win this game, it's going to have to be a high-scoring one, because their defense has struggled at times where the offense does shine. But the kickoff is set for noon here. That's all I have here. Now back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you so very much, and we will let you go because you look cold, and I'm sure the warmth of the JMA Dome is calling your name. So, all right, we're going to get into the picks here. Syracuse, I mean, when it comes down to this, and you've mentioned this a couple of times, they've looked like the Syracuse of old. They've shown signs that they're going to take the next step, that they're going to become a new program, and then they've turned into more or less the Syracuse of old, and you guys are all shaking your head at this point. This is a game that Fran Brown has to win. To get rid of all of the stigma, to get them everything off of the back, Fran Brown has to win this game. This has to change the program. I know it's really early in his tenure to say he has a program-making game, this is it for him today. And I think he can get it done. I'm going to take Hughes at home. I'll take the 4 points. I'll take the home dog. I like the orange.
Yeah, Zach, I'm nodding my head because I completely agree with you. November is where the wheels have fallen off for this Syracuse football team in the past few years. You get that hot start in September, October, string some wins together, become bowl eligible, and then that second half of the season is just a slide. Winning, you know, the Holiday Bowl is not what this program wants to be known for. Losing by 14 in the Holiday Bowl, whatever it may be, they got to get it done today. I'm going to take Syracuse.
I mean, you're talking about the Holiday Bowl. How about the Boca Raton Bowl last year where they got blown up by 40 by USF of all teams? That second half of the year, really a struggle for him. However, going into this game, I think McCord realizes that last game, that tanked his draft stock quite a bit. He really has to put out a big showing in this one. It's going to be, can Syracuse's defense stop the run game of Virginia Tech? Because they have not defended the run well at all whatsoever this year. But I think McCord and his passing ability will be able to step up, take Syracuse in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Syracuse. This is my favoritism showing here, but I feel like this is, for me, like Batman. You know, like I believe in Harvey Dent. Well, I believe in Fran Brown. I believe that he can turn this program around. One bad game doesn't show that. I know it looks like the Syracuse of old, but I feel a different vibe when it comes to him. He's a top recruiter. Like he's got some toughness, some dog, some swagger in him that I really, really like. So I'm going to take Syracuse. I think he'll get them to bounce back in this game. Kyle McCord especially. He's behind his quarterback 110%. You can see that every time he talks. So I feel like that. I agree. This is 100% a very important game for Syracuse to show that this is not the Syracuse of old, and that this is a new era, the Fran Brown era for Syracuse.
Yeah, I mean, this is, like we've all mentioned, this is kind of going to be the turning point, and we'll see if this is the turning point not just for the season, but for the program and for at least Fran Brown's tenure here with the Orange. But not the only team near the Finger Lakes getting going. Michael, you got a little bit more information on a record-breaking Cortland Red Dragon team,
Of course I do. The Cortland Red Dragons are looking to keep their 19-game winning streak rolling as they face Hartwick Hawks at home. The number 2 ranked team in Division III football shouldn't have too much trouble with the 2-5 Hawks, who are coming off a win against Hilbert College. Cortland's point differential on this season is sitting at just about 48 points per game. And yes, you heard that right. They're beating their opponents by almost 50 points a game. On the other side, Hartwick has suffered 3 losses this season by more than 50 points. The Hawks will be hoping for a miracle this afternoon at Grady Field, but this one has all the makings of a blowout.
And the Cornell Big Red are hitting the road for an Ivy matchup with Princeton. Both teams sitting at 1-2 are looking to get back up to 500. There's a storied history between these two teams, but Cornell may be coming with some extra motivation as Princeton has taken the last 5 games against the Big Red. To win the Ivy League, it's likely that neither team can afford a second loss on the season, as Dartmouth, Columbia, Harvard, and Brown all sit ahead of the teams in the standing. Last year's matchup between these two teams ended in a 14-3 Princeton victory. And will this continue to be a low-scoring trend, or will both offenses come alive today?
And it'll be the final Liberty League game for Ithaca on the road as they travel to Union College this afternoon. In 19 past matchups, the Hawks are 15-4 against Union, including wins in each of the last 3 games. Since 2010, there's only been 1 loss for Ithaca against Union. Ithaca's coming off a 49-14 win over Buffalo State. They're looking to keep their winning ways rolling.
And one more game here in the Southern Tier. The Colgate Red Raiders are taking a trip to the Big Apple, squaring off with Fordham. Colgate sitting at just 2-6 on the season, but Fordham yet to see a win in the win column as well. They sport an 0-8 record. Colgate leads this series all time with 26 wins. This one a 1 o'clock kickoff in the Bronx. And of course, don't forget about WBNG's day of the game as well. Day of the game. Day of the game, yes. Oregon taking on Michigan. This is a Big Ten showdown. Ducks will look to remain unbeaten and atop the AP. Michigan trying to get back in the win column. This one kicks it off at 3:30, and we will be right back with our pick for this game and the rest of the Saturday slate.